welcome back to Life Lessons for a Time Such as Now. I'm here with my co-hosts, Jay Wells, Cece, and Crystal. How's everyone
Hi.
doing?
Everyone's
Everyone's good?
yes, yes.
Okay, so today we have an interesting topic, which is how do you deal with the things you don't like about yourself?
Yeah,
So, who would like
good.
to share first some of the things that you guys have battled with or didn't like about yourself, and how did you overcome some of those issues?
Well,
Ooh,
I mean,
that
I
sounds
can go
easy.
first. I don't mind. Let me see what I don't like about myself. I don't think I'm perfect, but damn, I'm perfect. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Just kidding. Um, there are things that like within myself that for a while I didn't like my weight. Um, and sometimes I didn't like how aggressive I can be in certain situations. So, with that said, I had to learn to find myself and learn what it was that I didn't like about myself or felt like what I didn't like was an issue for others. Not to say I'm here to please anybody else, but there's a certain way you want to be looked at in life, right? So if I want to be looked a certain way, or I want the respect that I feel I should have or should receive, I had to learn to give it as well because for a long time, I always felt my way was the better way. It was my way or the highway, but I took the time out to find myself and work on that.
Guess what? I'm still working on two. But what I didn't like about myself that I didn't like know that I didn't like about myself was not being able to say no. Always giving. You give me a sad story. I'll give you my right arm, give you what I don't have just to help uh someone. So as I got older, I learned that it's okay to say no unapologetically.
Right.
Okay. And and it was something, it took me all the way into my 50s to get to that point. So someone told me I was too nice to a fault. And when you're that way, people tend to take advantage of you. So that's what I didn't like about myself. But as today, as I stand, like I said, I am perfectly okay with saying no. I still help people. Now I do it with wisdom. You can't come and if I don't have it, I don't have it. I'm no longer going to give you something that I don't have, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and I'm okay with that now, but it took me a long time to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Same.
So for me, it's a good question. What don't I like about myself and how do I deal with it? I think for me sometimes what I really don't like is that maybe I find that I hold stuff in
Mm,
because it's better for me to just hold it in than I don't want the confrontation. Because when I get to that point, it's like I almost don't know who I am. So I rather not, get into those kind of arguments or fuss with someone when in a sense I'm protecting their feelings by taking care of my feelings because if I don't argue with you, then I'm okay, right? So I think the part is
Mm-hmm.
that I need to kind of argue back so I can let it go instead of holding on to it or not letting you know that okay, you know what? I really didn't like what you said. I'm
That's
still working on
important.
that. I'm better, much better at it. To your point, Crystal, it's like if it's a no, it's a no. If I want to talk about it, we talk about it. Otherwise, I leave it alone until I'm ready. I can't be forced into a conversation any longer.
that's good.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
if you're saying, well, for to me, for Crystal and Cece, if y'all saying that no is no, you still are limited to who you say no to. It's easy for us to say, well, no, I'm at this age, I say no, or no, I don't want to have it. So not arguing with someone is different from having a real conversation with someone. So the tough conversations, you
The tough conversations I can have, it's just I'm having at this point I'm having it on my level, not on your level. That's where the change coming, right? Because the conversation is going to be had no matter how you look at it at some point. But I'm able to control the way I react, if that makes sense.
that makes a
Or
lot of sense. That
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
Well, my no, what I mean by mine is just that. No. Because like I said, I mean, before I had a problem with saying no, because that's how big my heart was. And I was always a type, and I still am, want to help people. But I've learned that I have to be able to help myself before I can help somebody else. And if I always put everybody in front of my needs, then who's going to take care of my needs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's
if I
true.
give
Nobody but you.
Mm-hmm.
right. So if I give you that $1,000 that you need, then I really don't have to give to you just because you need it. I still need it, but I'm gonna give it to you because I have it to give to you, not really.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's my turn and I need something, I can't find nobody with a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And then when you get your money back, you don't get it the same way that you gave it. You get it in
Right.
increments, bits and
Pieces.
how is that helping me? So
Right.
no.
Well, I've had to learn to not give more than I'm okay with losing.
Amen.
So if somebody needs $1,000 and I know I can only afford to lose 500, then that's all I have. And that just means if I don't get it back, you know, everything in my life, bills and everything still is getting covered because I could afford to lose that. Like, will my life end if I lose this $500? Will I be evicted if I lose this $500? If the answer is no, then that's what I have to, that's what's disposable.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't give more than I am okay with losing
Mm-hmm.
because there's a possibility you won't get it back. And that's where I just had to
Especially
learn.
when you have adult children.
Um,
So that's as your kids get older and they start asking for stuff,
yeah.
that I think that's the hard part that we all kind of talking about as well, because you have your kids and yes, you say no to everybody, but now when your kid come and they in these little ruts and whatever and they can't get their life together, however it is that's happening, and you're like, okay, let me help, or you're helping and you're
Hmm.
helping, and then before you know it, you're like, you don't have nothing, and to your point, you can't ask them for shit. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But
But
listen,
that's
look,
what I was saying. Like
look.
when you say no, are we talking about because it doesn't work for everyone?
Right.
Everybody in your life is not asking you for money or whatever. When it comes down to saying no, is that strictly for your children? You know what I mean? You have other
I think it should be
situations
for
where you can
everybody.
say no, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is to work on yourself. The main people that your closest community is, and when I say closest community, I mean like your moms, your pops, your kids, whoever's in your community, your village at that time that you're dealing with is who our no's are supposed to be for.
Right.
You
And
know,
so I think for me, that's where I've learned to say no. And I think it's the same for Crystal too. And if I could speak for you, Crystal, that's where you really learn to say no. It's a hard no. Sometimes it's a hurt. You don't want to do it, but you have to because it's the best thing.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
speaking, generally speaking. So the question was, how do I?
Mm-hmm.
right.
I. So that was a problem for me. And it
Mm-hmm.
depends on the situation and the circumstance. It didn't necessarily have to be a child, didn't necessarily have to be
Right.
money. Just generally speaking, I just had
Hmm.
a problem with saying no because I just want to help someone. But now I had to deflect and reflect back on me. I had to learn how to put myself first because
Mm.
that was my biggest problem, and I still have that a little bit, but I'm a lot better with it now, putting everybody before me and my needs. You know what I mean? So you can't put everything in a box, because each situation and circumstance is different.
Of course, of course.
You know,
Hmm.
but for me, that's what I didn't like about myself, that I didn't know that I didn't like about myself until I had done some digging within myself with what did I need to change about myself, what I didn't like about myself, how can I make changes to be a better me, to make
Mm,
me happy.
gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
agree. Well, for me, it was definitely a lack of boundaries and being a people pleaser. Now, some studies have said that, of course, being a people pleaser or codependent, that can come from, childhood traumas or whatever. So, one of the ways that I'm changing that, not only with myself, but with my kids, because I think it starts from young. When we force our kids to do things that they're not even comfortable doing. And it doesn't have to be anything bad, right? It doesn't have to be anything bad, but it can be something as simple as hugging a certain family member, that you're not comfortable with, um, being introduced to strangers, and you're pulling back, and oh, but that's your mom's friend, whatever it might be, right? Because as children, we have to listen to our parents. So it teaches you to be to accept things that you're not comfortable with. It teaches you to show up for people that you're not comfortable with showing up for, or attend things that you really don't want to attend. And I believe I took that into my adulthood, because it's like, oh, well, you want to make this person happy, so you do things that you don't even want to do to make people happy. And that's definitely something that I'm not forcing my kids to do. Yes, they have to be respectful. Now, when it comes to certain things, like, yeah, no, unfortunately, we got to go to grandma's house, whatever the case may be, right? But when it comes to other things that I know I might have been forced to do as a child, that I was really just uncomfortable doing. Nothing too crazy. I'm not going too deep. Nothing crazy. But I definitely took that into my adulthood with being a people pleaser, because that's what people pleasing is about. You're trying to put everybody else first and make everybody else happy. And that's why I resonate with what you said, with learning how to say no. It was in my big adult years that I had to learn how to say no. And I basically hated the fact, or did very much dislike the fact, that my boundaries was very weak. So, and that's learning to say no. Once you learn to say no, you strengthen your boundaries, and it's so important. And I'm just learning this now, at 38. I guess better late than never. But having weak boundaries can definitely disrupt your life in more ways than one. And that's why I didn't really care for, when people say, oh, you don't like, oh, that person don't like themselves. It's okay. It's okay sometimes to not like yourself. That's my personal opinion. As long as you're able to identify those things that you do not like about yourself and work on changing it. It's not a horrible thing. It's not a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing to be a horrible person to people and like that about yourself. So when people don't like certain things about themselves, I think that's a good thing, as long as you're working on it.
That is very, very, very good. That was very
Yes.
well
Yeah, that
said.
it was. So, with that said, we'd like to end the
It's
You're funny. No, I think I
that
agree with,
that was good. That was good. So that was a good
yeah,
way, a good segue to close it out. You hit it on the nail, Nay.
yeah, I agree with what you said. Though, Nate, I would have to say um, for our generation, we had to do what our parents said, like you said. And we had to do like go places and stuff, but you don't realize the impact that you do or put on your children until it's done. But I,
Mm-hmm.
I like your way of thinking and how you feel, and you're doing the right thing. Sounds like you're a great mom, and
Thank
even
you.
though you're learning with trial and error, you're learning. Like you have a different outlook than we had, which is good because you're in a different time. And I kudos to you.
Yeah, you're
Thank
definitely doing
you.
a great job, of course.
Thank you, guys.
I know.
So,
What could you do? And the funny part, I said, oh, I was talking about my weight, and y'all just got all deeper into it with other stuff, saying no. I mean, there's a lot of those issues that I've had myself. But I think, you know, loving yourself takes hard work. It
It does.
takes
It
time,
does.
it takes energy, and it takes commitment to
Yes,
want to
it does.
know yourself.
And we're not going to always get it right. We have,
Mhm.
just like we're patient with people, we have to be patient with us, with ourselves.
Yeah, that's
You know,
good.
we require a lot of patience, and we need to give it to ourselves, because we're not going to get it right in one time, two times, maybe 10 times, who knows, you know. But the
Mhm.
fact that we keep trying, we're going to make it better.
Well, it's just like Jay Wills was saying about the weight. Now I'm kind of dealing with that with the menopause and other health issues in my body, where about a month or so ago, I blew up so big that I was like in a 14.
Mm.
So I'm losing the weight now. So I I don't like that, because I'm used to a flat tummy, and now I got this stomach. What is this? You understand what I'm saying? And
High
Mhm.
cortisone levels. Cortisol. Cortisol.
so I'm not liking this. So I'm learning. I'm trying to learn to embrace the new me. Because some things, you just don't have no control over it yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not liking that. So I'm trying to learn how to not focus so much on my midsection and things that I don't like about my body, and focus on the things that I do like about my body.
Mhm.
Or
Hmm.
I definitely can relate to that. I mean, like you said, we all probably have the little weight issues. I definitely had a big weight issue too, and so even though I've lost a lot of weight, I still kind of see myself at times as how I was before. It's like sometimes it's hard to break that cycle of, when I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh, I still look big, and I'm nowhere to where I was before, but you start watching the scale, always making sure you. But when I look at it, I look in the mirror, I see a new Crystal. But when I look, sometimes I
Oh my
don't.
God. I used to be obsessed with the scale. I mean, I used to weigh
Mm-hmm.
myself every single morning. Like it was so bad every single morning. And I definitely tried to hide that from my daughter. Like once I had my
Mm.
daughter, and I would like wait for her to go in the living room or something to step on the scale. Like I would hate. And one day she caught me on that scale. And that's it. I do not step on that scale.
No
I
more.
don't know the last time. No, actually, I got on it about a week ago. But before that, it was like, I don't know, 6 months. I'm like, forget it. Because I
Mm.
didn't want her to be obsessed with weight and stuff like that. Because I got a chunky little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want her to care about that at all. Cause basically, like my weight consumed my life. Like always worrying about, oh, I gained extra pound, extra 10 pounds. It's oh my god, it's nerve
Mm.
wracking. Always on a diet, a fad diet, this and that. So yeah, that's still throw it
Yeah.
out.
really, really.
Horrible,
Well, I wasn't obsessed with
addictive.
about the scale,
I
but
was obsessed.
I just look at this like right now, and if I show y'all my stomach, y'all be like, "Oh my God, I should show it to y'all," but I want to traumatize our viewers.
But what you could show to the viewers, Crystal, is your shirt. Love your shirt.
Oh, okay, sure.
But
But
God,
God,
Oh, God.
nice.
That's right.
Yep.
even
What
though
does
you
it
was
mean?
putting
What
them
does this shirt
boo-boos out there.
mean?
But God, only God can do.
Amen.
Only God can change our view. All we got to do is trust God, because it's only because of Him that we are here today. So, but
Amen.
God, and
Amen.
thank you for the
Hmm.
roof, thank you for the food, thank you for the fat, thank you for the life.
Yeah.
But God,
Hello.
But God, right?
because
But
we are
God.
beautifully and wonderfully made, as He says. So if we look at it like that, then we don't see those flaws, because God has made us all beautiful in His image, regardless the flaws that we see within ourselves, because we're all beautiful.
Yes.
Fat, skinny,
Amen.
yes,
Yes, yes.
That was.
bald. Yeah.
That's so funny. I'm over here like, right, right. And then I'm like, okay, tomorrow I'm calling for some Ozempic. Like, okay, I hear you. But I want the injection. I'm like, she is 100% right. Pulling for my Ozempic because the summertime is on the way.
I
Okay.
know that's right. I know
That's
that.
okay. That's
No, I'm
okay.
on a plane. They won't give it to me, but I'm on. That's only because they won't give it to me.
Oh wow.
Listen, it is what it is. We're going to do what we do, but still, when we change our mindset, then and really change our mindset and really stay focused on the positive things about ourselves. But as we're just human, so we're going to always do that. But then we have to pull ourselves back so we can learn how to love the things that we hate about ourselves. Isn't that the topic?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's true.
with that said, is there any last comments that anyone want to leave our viewers with? Okay.
Yeah, I have actually I had a quote that I want to say.
Okay.
One, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible.
Woo!
That was deep.
That was
Look,
good.
I'm dropping the mic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can
That's
drop.
right.
Yeah, that's even scriptural based. That's actually our theme for this year. It's in Luke. We give all our impossibility, paraphrasing, we give all of our impossibilities to God, because He will make it possible. So it's pretty much what you said, Jay Will. So my closing remarks is, but God, give Him your impossibilities.
I love this. So with that said, ladies and our
Nay.
viewers, Nay, you have anything to say?
Oh no, I don't have anything to
You
say.
actually
God
you
bless
did
you.
really good. So you're good. So with that said, ladies, we're gonna tell our subscribers to please like and share our life lessons for a time such as now.
Woo, ladies.
Yes.
Bye.